Hello everybody, this is Kiru Show here. Now, when we last left off, All for One thinks Bakugo is dead, Deku sent him to LA, and we're going to be showing up with another thing. Deku, he told Principal Nezu that one thing he is going to do is basically he is going to destroy the school and he is going to kill Bakugo. But he never told Nezu that he was going to be destroying the entire block also. So Nezu was actually sitting in a different part of the city, waiting for these to arrive whenever he heard the explosion. Now, during the 2-week gap Bakugo has been dead, Deku would actually visit Nezu, saying that he is sorry about that, but he told him that he was going to be destroying the school. Nezu shouting at him that he should have at least let people leave, or at least let him notify people. Deku would just tell Nezu if he did that, then that means that people would just never arrive and avoid the area. All for One would have been suspicious, and this would have eventually led to his own suspicion. In fact, there are more things at stake right now than just this. He has a plan to take down these villains and essentially kill the man All Might has been trying to kill for a long time. Now, this is whenever Deku would go on stating that All for One has asked to copy my quirk before, but I told him that that's not a good idea. He asked me why, and I told him that the insanity is a part of it. He's tested this on many people, and it led to them all keep going down the same path I have. Insanity and trying to kill themselves. So he just avoids my quirk. Now, Deku would essentially tell him that, not just that, but the armory part is another one, as he would grab Nezu by the collar, throwing him behind him into the armory and walking through, saying this is his own basic workshop. Here is Bakugo. Hang on, as he would pull the knife out of his head, saying that's better. Nezu's asking why he killed Bakugo. Deku would say that he was All Might's successor and the one All for One was dead. Basically, he knew too much, but he'll be alive in a short while, I believe. I don't know. I don't really know how these things work against my quirk. They might actually be able to kill me. Anyways, I'm not concerned about that now. But I am concerned about one thing. After this is all over, I'm trying to go for a happy ending. What do you mean a happy ending? There is no way out of this for you. Well, you see, that's where you're wrong. After my plan gets executed, I plan on leaving this country. You can't just come here, cause as much chaos as possible, and expect to leave here. Do you really expect there to be anyone to stop me? I am willingly telling you that me, the man who killed the symbol of peace and executed quite a lot of your people, am just gonna stop doing it and plan to leave. Being out of your hair and saying I will never do it again. You expect me to believe I can't just leave? Well, yes, but listen, I'm telling you, I will stop and I will just live a normal life with my girlfriend. Besides, Bakugo here is going to wake up soon and I'll just send him to the US also. Why? All for One thinks he's dead, so if he just suddenly arrives one day saying, hey, I'm alive, that won't work for me. Now, as Deku tells us to Nezu, he would just push Nezu out of the room, saying, alright, let's get this ready. As he starts to work on his own quirk enhancement. He essentially takes a sample of whatever is in the vial and actually looks at it, trying to figure this out as his toga would reappear. Now, he's actually asking her what she's doing here, and she would quite simply say that you're going unstable again. So it makes sense that I'm here. Now, I'll tell you one thing, you did get her back, so I can stop pretending now. This thing is weird. You gotta find out what Overhaul's doing with it and how it's even made. Because a lot of this looks like blood. So, you gotta figure that out. What? Overhaul's operation works on reliability and family. So, what do you mean? It's not like he's holding someone hostage. How do you know? You held Bakugo hostage for quite a while before finally letting him go. Alright. I get it. So I'll just figure this out. As Deku would reappear in another city with Overhaul actually yelling fuck, as Deku basically falls from the ceiling to the ground, breaking his neck. Overhaul asks him what's he even doing here, and Deku would say he has quite a bit of an interest in what he's doing. In fact, he also knows one thing Overhaul likes. He likes power and money, so he has a deal. He is trying to figure out exactly how much quirk enhancement he has, and he plans to distribute it to people with very weak quirks, causing a lot of chaos, as quirks become uncontrollable, causing mass panic for heroes. Not just that, it'll give your black market buyers quite a bit of an interest in it, as a guy with a small fire enhancement quirk can burn down and become a pyromaniac for an entire city block. Someone with a radiation quirk could probably detonate, making a nuclear explosion. So what do you say? As Overhaul thinks about this, he's thinking Deku might actually have a good idea. So he would actually relent that, fine, but this is going to be a bit different. You need to sell some of your quirk enhancements to the cops. Or some of your quirk erasing bullets to the cops. So you can at least get those back. And make money off of those. In fact, I'm actually quite interested in those. Why? Well, I've been trying to kill myself for the last year or so. Might as well see if it would fucking work. Besides, when this is all done and over, I want to at least try and live a normal life. Even if it means destroying my quirk. So Overhaul would actually take Deku to meet Eri. As Deku walks in, he sees a little girl scared and strapped to a table, with needles poking into each one of her limbs and veins. Deku's asking, what is this? Overhaul would say this is how they do it. This is Eri, the person who they get blood from. As Deku holds back his urge to beat Overhaul to death, he's saying that that's fine. In fact, he wants to talk to her for quite a bit. As Deku would sit and talk with Eri, eventually one of the doctors would come in, unhooking her from these, and actually letting her go. Deku would ask exactly what her quirk is, because that horn looks pretty weird. She would say that it's essentially part of her quirk, and how she accidentally killed her dad. Deku would say that he can actually relate to that, because when his quirk first manifested, he actually killed his dad and also his mother. So it actually left him as an orphan. As he would actually hold out his hand, Eri is confused and Deku would make a little doll for her, which she actually likes. As she would take it, Overhaul is talking to another person as they would see Deku essentially pull this doll out of nowhere. Overhaul would actually ask Deku what their next part of their plan is, and Deku would say, basically, as much quirk enhancement as you got, pour it into the drinking water. This would happen. A lot of chaos would happen where people with quirks would drink the water, and essentially do this. Overhaul would watch as all the cops use the quirk erasing bullets reluctantly and destroy everyone's quirks. This is happening, and Shigaraki is somewhat confused on why talking with Overhaul and these two would get into an argument. As this goes on, Deku takes this opportunity to take a cork erasing bullet and stab it in All For One's neck whenever he finds a chance. As this happens, Deku would have stabbed it into All For One's neck and actually create a 50 caliber pistol. Yes, a 50 caliber pistol. A type of gun that can destroy, if not punch a hole in a tank. And he would actually fire it in the back of All For One's head, killing him and breaking his entire wrist, along with the bone in his hand. Shigaraki and the rest of the league would see this, and Musuke would get very mad, and they would all go to try and attack Deku. As soon as this happens, Deku actually gets tackled by Toga, and he creates a portal, falling through, and actually landing in a separate office. This is Sornidai. Sornidai is asking who they even are, and what they're doing here. Nezu would explain that this is the guy, and in fact the girl's a new person. Nezu would say that these two essentially have a plan to go to the US after all this is over with. So you're the guy that killed All Might. You're not very special. As Nida would try and look into his future, he thinks, oh shit, this kid doesn't have a future. So, I'm not sure what you are, but you're not right. In all the futures I've seen All Might in, you never appear there killing him. So something is off. Yeah, the narrator didn't really think about my interactions with you. Who is the narrator? Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't. This kid's I'm not even able to work with. As he says this, Deku just says, I may not be able to work with, but I just took out the guy All Might couldn't. What do you mean? Deku would immediately just hold up the gun, saying that this thing, as he's still shaking his hand, he just put a bullet into the back of Overall's head, both erasing his quirk and shooting him in the face from the back of the head with it. Even if he doesn't die or his quirk is still there, essentially regenerating from this is not going to be fun. Now, Night thinks that if this guy really is just going to walk up and leave after all this, then at least try and keep the killing to a minimum. No promises. Why did I expect that? Well, fine. What's your plan with these two? Well, I've seen somewhat of Overhaul's quirk whenever he tried facing me with it, and I know Shigaraki's quirk. Whatever happened with Shigaraki in his past basically made his quirk suppressed, kind of like how my quirk used to be. But another thing I've seen with it is he doesn't embrace the trauma. He instead brushes it off to the side. So, Deku immediately says this, saying his quirk may be the most dangerous thing in this entire city right now. From what I can think, he might be able to destroy the entire city just by touching the ground. If not, at least the entire city block. So, as he would say this, he just goes on stating he needs to go get someone real quick. As he falls through another portal, shooting his way through Overhaul's base with Toga, he's holding two M60s in both hands, and he's just firing them off as much as possible. Running through Overhaul's base, and running into the room with Eri. Eri is confused as she's been drained of quite a lot of blood today. Deku would go on stating that they're here to get her out of here, and they would undo the straps, getting her out of there and portaling back to Sonadai's agency. As Overhaul walks in, he sees what Deku did, and Deku actually just left him a teddy bear with a note on it. But while he's reading this note, he hears the teddy bear click. As soon as he moves his hand, as soon as he looks at the teddy bear, he realizes there might be a bomb in it. So he destroys his glove, the teddy bear, and actually holds onto the bomb as he destroys it. But it actually sent a blast off, at least destroying his hand. As this happened, his confession minion would run in asking if he's okay, and Overhaul would just fuse their bodies together, creating a new arm. Basically, only making it to where he's a 2-armed monstrosity other than a 4-armed monstrosity. As this happens, Overhaul would tell one of his minions to actually call Shigaraki because that boy just went AWOL. If not, find out what's going on with the League of Villains. Now, Deku just started a turf war between two factions of powerful villains. So, this is going to be a fun one. Deku immediately falls back into Tsunadi's agency, and they would meet Eri. Eri is confused and very, very tired. As Deku says, they had her strapped to a table taking blood from her. In fact, she's the reason why those quirk-destroying bullets are even out there. They're made from her quirk. Now, one thing I do plan on doing is taking her with us. What do you mean? Toga, we're not just gonna leave some girl in the midst of a gang war with two powerful factions that both know what she can do. Besides, people on the black market probably seen her, so they know she's in Japan. If not, they know of her quirk. So, we're gonna take her to the US with us. Alright, well, I've always wanted a little sister. Okay, got that sorted out. You can't just take Eri. Why not? This will take her far away from here. If not, take her far from all this chaos and bullshit. Well, first off, you don't have proper adoption papers. Second, I just saved her from villains who were draining her like she was a bona fide Capri Sun. If not, draining her like a moth drains a person of blood. So you're expecting me to just wait for adoption papers to be legalized to do all that shit? No. We're not doing that. Besides, if I wanted to, I can just kill both of you and take her anyways. So, that is my plan. Deku would just say this, and he immediately just thinks, well, not now. You two just look after her. But if you guys do try and stop me, I will not hesitate. As he says this, he asks Toga if she's ready. She would say yes, but she still needs some of his blood. Deku would say alright, as she takes some of Deku's blood, and Deku just stands there as she's just constantly pumping it out, taking up at least a full drum, and Deku just looking a little pale until his skin returns back to normal, saying that was very, very weird. Now, she would ask Deku if he has the quirk enhancement, and he would say here as he holds up several vials, if not 8 vials of it. As he says this, they go into the next room, and Toga's actually mixing this quirk enhancement into all the blood she has. And Deku would keep his own separate vial. Now, while that happens, she's telling Deku that this is going to determine what happens to them, right? Well, I'm assuming so, yeah. So, at least let's make this a good one, as she pulls him into a kiss, and they would actually stay there for quite a minute, discussing what to do when they get into the US. Deku would say that he left Bakugo in LA, so they should probably go to LA, right? She would say that sounds neat, she'll go anywhere with him. As Deku smiles, and they would finish what they are doing. Walking out of the room, telling them to keep her safe. Because what they plan on doing, they might not come back from. But if they do, just know, we'll be out of your hair. As Deku would open a portal, walking through it, and it would be a newsroom. The news anchor would say that they need to get out of here, and Deku would just smash his head on the table and throw him backwards, saying, Shigaraki of the League of Villains and Overhaul of the Yakuza. You are looking for me. Now, he would be wearing his mask, and so would Toga. She's wearing the same exact colors and skin that Deku has. He would say that, well, I have a little challenge for you both. I just killed your leader of the League of Villains. I also just took the reason for your drugs overhaul, so you two have a bit of an issue with me. So if you guys want me, I will be in Aldridge in the town square. And to all the authorities out there who want to try and stop me, just know putting a slug through my head will not do anything. In fact, it just makes me more pissed off. Now, as he would immediately summon an RPG saying, this is his little message. Take my challenge and fight me, and you two can win, leaving me out of your hair. Or, better question, you two can run with your tail between your legs and just stop pissing me off. In fact, I have a deal with Muscular. If you come along, it will be a bit funner. So, here's my challenge. And for all of you at home, stay out of my way. As he fired the RPG and the news would just cut off of every single screen. Toga is saying that was pretty badass, and he would say, was it? You see, I was really hoping there wouldn't be something in my teeth, but I can't tell with this mask on. But I really hope that looked cool. As these two would leave, and Deku would find himself at the top of a building in Aldridge, as Toga also waits with him. Now, I will be leaving this part off of here, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day.